The biggest thing that we're considering right now, is this the year that Manchester City finally win the UEFA Champions League trophy? We saw that picture, Jack Grealish posted. We saw that the Champions League was the biggest thing for them this season. In fact, nobody even needs to tell anybody.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing for them this season. But is this the year where they finally win it?
In a word-one answer, I would say yes. I think surely this is the year.
But moving on to Sunday's fixtures, Everton and Manchester City at 2 p.m. and Arsenal versus Brighton. That's another big one.
It's another very big game
For Arsenal. That's going to test Arsenal's mettle. They'll be playing at home, but of course, there's no longer that pressure of them being the one.
They're chasing, not the chase.
Yeah, they're the chasers now. Maybe putting.
Yeah, that's a very big game. Two of the.
I'll quickly do a pun on chasers. They're the chasers now. In a very big week in the world of sports, especially football, a lot of things have happened this past week, and a lot of things will happen this coming week, and another set of massive things will happen in the coming week. But unfortunately, when things start to happen, like this, it just signals the end of the season. It signals that time when everybody will sit down again and just be listening to rumors.
I'm not mad about the end of the season. This has been one of the worst seasons in sport, and
For Liverpool,
it could get worse.
right?
Looking at we'll discuss.
Right, we'll go into it. But let us start off with the question of the day. The biggest thing that we're considering right now, is this the year that Manchester City finally win the UEFA Champions League trophy? We saw that picture, Jack Grealish posted. We saw that the Champions League was the biggest thing for them this season. In fact, nobody even needs to tell anybody.
Exactly.
That's the biggest thing for them this season. But is this the year where they finally win it?
In a word-one answer, I would say yes. I think surely this is the year. 1-1 away at the Bernabeu is a decent result. They didn't control it as much as you think that they will. Madrid have showed that they're still just as good as, even though their league form doesn't suggest, they showed that they can go toe-to-toe with City and look like a team of that caliber. But I feel going to the Etihad, City's home results in the Champions League is impeccable at the moment. They dominate the football at home. I don't think they're going to choke again. I feel like surely the odds are in their favor at this point. It has to be there, So I'm going with City.
Talking about the odds being in their favor, they've played 5 games at home this season. They've won all 5. They scored crazy number of goals.
And their away form, which is pretty bad, but they
never lose.
Exactly.
They always draw.
They afforded not to lose at the Bernabeu, which is key.
Yeah. So that's big, and it just might be that season. Unfortunately for somebody like me, personally, I don't want that to happen, but
it's all like me too. Like the fact that Pep Guardiola and City hadn't won the Champions League was the only thing we had as Liverpool fans to say, look against them. Like, okay, Liverpool and club won the Champions League. You can have all your league titles, we haven't won the Champions League. When they win the Champions League, if Pep Guardiola win the Champions League for Man City, it's over for everybody, bro.
I mean, that's really.
As in,
he has.
I think.
At that point, he has
there's another discussion
football.
that we're going to have to discuss. Him versus Sir Alex Ferguson. Like, if you look at the way this guy keeps winning, yes, Sir Alex Ferguson won more. This probably be a longer, deeper discussion to come. But if you look at how often this guy wins, he's won the league title in like 80% of the leagues he's competed in his career. Like, it's a joke. He wins pretty much every title. He smashed all the records. If he wins this Champions League and he's level with Sir Alex on Champions League, then we have to have a discussion, I'm afraid.
I mean, at the end of the day, that one thing that always comes to count against him is his ability to build a squad out of nothing, right? He always has it easy for him.
Those will be the points that you raise when we take it to court.
Right.
When we take it to trial.
Exactly.
But it's going to be a fiercely contested one.
True, very true. To be honest with you, very true. But yeah, that was the big match that happened in the Champions League on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we had the Milan derby, right? That was big. Was it Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Okay. So on Wednesday, we had the Milan derby, and that was big, right? It was very obvious that AC Milan really, really missed Rafael Leao.
Yeah.
If you watched their quarterfinal games against Napoli, in both legs, Leao was the, he was the one, really. And in the absence of Osimhen,
even in the league game where they destroyed them, it was Leao.
Exactly,
again,
it was Leao. So AC Milan did not have Leao, and
they didn't come to the party.
From the get-go, Inter Milan.
Yeah,
and it was interesting because Inter Milan had just, I think, 1,700 fans in the stadium.
Wow. Yeah, they were the away side.
They were the away side. And yeah.
It felt comfy because it's the end. Great result for Inter Milan. Edin Dzeko, 37 years old, still doing that. Brilliant. Henrik Mkhitaryan doing that. 34 years old.
So that's another conversation that can happen, right? I saw a tweet that said Edin Dzeko is the person people think Giroud is, right?
Yeah, I mean,
the consistency, the way he wins, the way he's always
15
a
years
talisman
ago,
everywhere he
Dzeko was
goes.
putting up big numbers in big European leagues.
And he's
one of the
still
finest
doing
strikers about, no doubt. No
And he's
doubt.
still doing it at 37.
Exactly.
Massive.
Benching Lukaku at 37 years old, like.
I mean, Lukaku, I
So I mean, still, like, Lukaku was
Lukaku, I beg.
a Syria MVP not too long
Right,
ago. To
true,
bench
true,
him at
true,
37
true.
is something. And yeah, we're happy for Mkhitaryan as well. It's crazy that these are players. Why are Mkhitaryan and Dzeko scoring in Champions League semi-final in 2023?
In 2023,
Who would have seen that coming?
Massive. And another tongue-in-cheek moment for Manchester United. Mkhitaryan is in the semi-finals. Matteo Darmian is in the semi-finals. Romelu Lukaku is in the semi-finals and is likely to get to the finals.
Even Zlatan is in
Zlatan is
semi-final.
in
All your old boys have found their ways there.
Right? So yeah, but of course, that's another conversation entirely. Let's move on from the Champions League. Big results. There is the, we'll do predictions on Monday, of course.
Yep.
Looking forward to Tuesday and Wednesday's fixtures. But of course, that's going to be big. Real Madrid versus Manchester City at the
second
Etihad.
leg. Start thinking of your
Second leg.
predictions. There's definitely a time for that.
Definitely. Moving on from the UEFA Champions League now to the Europa League. In the Europa League, somebody who personally I'm rooting for is doing, he's doing okay. Unfortunately for him, of course, it's Mourinho, right? Mourinho and Roma. Unfortunately for him, Juve came and spoiled the party for him in Serie A. He's not looking likely to qualify for the Champions League through
Even the Europa League spot is
Even the Europa League sports look like, sports look like it's in jeopardy. But he can win the Europa League this season and
that's a backdoor to get right into the Champions League.
Champions League. And Mourinho is going to go for it.
You know he's going to go for it. And they're looking good so far. A 1-0 victory. They look
at
strong. They
home.
look resilient. A good goal by Bovie, 20-year-old kid that brought in. Tammy Abraham played, looked well. He didn't start Dybala, someone who I thought would play a bigger part in this, but the decision seems to have paid off. And yeah, hats off to Roma.
Yeah, definitely. Hats off to Roma. They go back to Germany to play the second leg next week.
Against a good Bayern Leverkusen side, by the way, so it's not going to be a walkover by any. This isn't just some Mourinho party.
But you know that Mourinho knows how to play these kinds of cup games.
He does not play.
Do you know that Mourinho winning the Europa League with Manchester United that season was a massive coup?
For sure.
Massive coup.
For sure. We've seen
Bruh.
so what happened just this season now. It's not easy.
It's not easy actually. But yeah, that's definitely one to look out for. Moving on from the Roma versus Leverkusen game, that one ended 1-0 in favor of Roma. Moving on from that one, we had Juve and Sevilla. Sevilla scored first. Juve seemed to be scared. But Vlahovic looked sauce in that game.
Vlahovic has been up and down, man. The jury is still out on Vlahovic. It's been like 2 seasons now, and I'm still not sure how to rate him as a striker. Why do you think he looks like he didn't pose much of a threat?
He didn't pose much of a threat. He just didn't look like a world beater. He didn't look like an Osimhen, right? And from a Manchester United perspective, that's what I was looking out for, right? To see, okay, he's on our radar. Osimhen is on our radar as well. So let me see him take the game by the scruff of the neck. This is a very big game for Juventus. Let me see how he commands the game and he puts fear in the hearts of the Sevilla defense. That's also sauce on its own, but he didn't seem to do that. And I was like, nah, man.
Yeah, that's that team of Vlahovic. We'll see if he can redeem himself in the second leg. But whilst speaking of strikers, I want to congratulate Enesiri for another big goal. It seems like every time we see him, it's a big goal. World Cup, knockout stages in the Europa League. Now that's two.
Of course, the quarterfinals against Manchester United and now the semi-finals against Juventus.
Sevilla, the Europa League, Real Madrid. Yeah, they're going again.
Definitely, right? Definitely. And of course, like you said, massive props to Youssef Enesiri. That's a striker that I think Manchester United should actually be looking at. I think
he's that guy like, okay, an underdog team, he might upset you, counter-attack, but...
Yeah, definitely. Juve versus Sevilla, that one ended 1-1. But looking forward to the results next week, right? When Sevilla will be at home. I think Sevilla would take it.
Yeah.
Right?
You always tend to favor the home sides in European games because the atmosphere is going to be incredible. Nobody chills for European knockout games. And it's Sevilla.
It's Sevilla, bro. They see this as their bet, right?
Yeah.
Right. Moving on from the Europa League now to the UEFA Europa Conference League, right? I mean, I feel like it's time to talk about it, right? Because there's a Premier League side doing bits.
We're in the later stages. So
and we're in the latter stages, right? It's the semi-finals. West Ham United won against AZ Alkmaar, who have had a good season in the Eredivisie. They're, by and large. 2-1. And
turned around pretty quickly there.
yeah.
I really like the Conference League. I feel like it's a good competition to see how other leagues compare to each other. Yeah, we see how they compare at the top level, but let's see what the mid-table side in the Premier League compared to the mid-table sides in Spain, in Italy, and so forth. So yeah, it's a great competition. I would like to see it stay. Big result for West Ham. As a Premier League team and a side that we see often, they have players that we've come to know and like. They have Mikel Antonio, they have Said Benrahma, which are 2 players involved in the comeback. So yeah, very big result for West Ham and David Moyes, who aren't having a good league campaign. But if they can win this, to go down in the history books. When you look at the Conference League,
of course, man, they're winning the European Cup.
Exactly,
right?
This would be a big night.
Yeah, definitely. And of course, don't forget, I was just pulling up the stats now. They are currently sitting 15th in the Premier League, right? Sitting 15th in the Premier League. They have 37 points, having played 35. They need just one more win to be safe, right? 3 games to go, and it looks like they're putting most of their eggs, let me say 99% of their eggs, in the Conference League basket. If they do win the Conference League, they get a certified
spot
in the Europa League.
What I would love to see is for them to go down in the Premier League but win the Conference League. So we have a championship team
Europa League.
who stayed European football. I'd love to see that. Because how much do you pay the players? For 1 week they're playing, you pay them championship wage, but the next week they're playing European. So how much do you pay the players?
They definitely won't survive because the championship is one of the toughest leagues anyway. The sheer number of games
they probably have to decide early, either getting back to the Premier League or trying to win the Europa League.
They better just stay up. One more win, and I think they can do it. They're a pretty good side.
Yeah, they're a good side. It's quite surprising to see them where they are, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. The other UEFA Europa Conference League that happened was Fiorentina versus Basel. That one ended 2-1 in favor of Basel, the away side. And yeah, I wasn't expecting much from that one. I don't know if anybody...
Yeah, that's not really a game that calls our attention like that. Yeah, an Italian side not doing that well in Europe. That's been rare so far this season. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that.
Definitely. Now let's move on to the Premier League. A very, very big weekend for the top sides and the bottom sides as well. I want to first off give massive props to Julen Lopetegui. When he came, and took over Wolves, they were in the relegation places, and he successfully turned that around for them. They've scored, I think, 30 points in 20 games. So that's an average of no less than 1 point per game, right? And I think that's big. That's big. And they really, really waited to get Lopetegui, right? They did not rush into that decision. They made sure that he was completely free from any obligation that he had. And they waited. There were a couple of, I remember when they were in the middle of, sacking their managers, they had options, right? But they knew who they wanted and they went for him.
Yeah, and he's a very good manager. He has pedigree. He was linked to the Real Madrid job at the time. He had the Spanish job, although there was some controversy in and around there. So this is a manager pedigree. This is a manager that people who can identify top managers have identified as top manager, and it's working out for him. Yeah,
most definitely working out for him. Talking about the top 4 sides in the Premier League, Newcastle are facing Leeds away. They had that defeat at home in the St. James's Park against Arsenal. How do they bounce back?
I think Leeds it's a side you want to play when you're trying to look for a result and try and bounce back, because they're an energetic side. They're not that good a side, so you know they're going to want to play. However, given relegation is on the mind right now, they have
a relegation specialist.
They have hired a relegation specialist, so this could be a very interesting game. I think the two sides are. I expect the philosophies to be quite similar. They're both going to try and defend, they're both going to try and play hard, work hard. So it's going to be an exciting, explosive game with 2 big fan bases who are going for something special. So that's the exciting part about this point in the season. Almost every game has a billion
Most definitely. But personally, if I were a betting man, I would say this is an early kick-off, 12:30, so you can expect an upset, right?
Is that your head or your heart?
Both, honestly. Because, I'm not bothered about whatever Newcastle do this season. All I'm worried about now is Manchester United just getting those points in those home games, and we're good to go, right? But of course, moving on from that, we have Manchester United, of course, now facing Wolves at 3 p.m. on Saturday at home. I'd say it's a win.
I would say it's a win for you with that much confidence. Yeah, United are the favourites coming into this game. They're the better side, but I can't if I was a betting man, I can't bet on United, and I won't have been able to take
United
that
at
risk.
home this season.
I mean, yeah, over the course of the season, perhaps, but in the last,
if you're a betting man,
in the
and
last,
you're not betting on United.
I mean, yeah, maybe if I look at the course of the season, but in the last 5-6 games, like United look like they can got at every single game they play. Like the Europa League matches happened, the Brighton match happened, the Premier League match after that. So it's clearly a rocky stage for United right now, and looks like whilst they were sprinting before, maybe the amount of games, the labor on the players' legs, they're slowing down and they're limping to the finish line.
Yeah, most definitely looks like that.
I don't know, man.
It does look like that. But moving on to Sunday's fixtures, Everton and Manchester City at 2 p.m. and Arsenal versus Brighton. That's another big one.
It's another very big game
For Arsenal. That's going to test Arsenal's mettle. They'll be playing at home, but of course, there's no longer that pressure of them being the one,
they're chasing, not
right?
the chase.
Yeah, they're the chasers now. Maybe putting.
Yeah, that's a very big game. Two of the.
Let's quickly do a pun on chasers. They're the chasers now. But don't worry, let's go.
Save it. Yeah, but Brighton are one of the most exciting sides to watch this season. Obviously, Arsenal as well. There's great players all over the pitch. I think it'll be a very good tactical game. De Zerbi is a very tactical manager. He likes to play beautiful football. So does Arteta. So as a neutral, it's going to be a beautiful game to watch. These are two teams on the higher end of the table. Brighton. They're the team with the most games to play in the Premier League, and if Brighton do win out, they can find themselves in the Champions League.
In the Champions League places, yes.
Their games are quite difficult, so you don't expect that to happen, but they have a lot to play for as well.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah, that's a very exciting game.
Definitely. So how would you call it?
I think that's going to
Brighton.
be. I think we're going to see goals, and I think I'm going to go 2-2.
2-2.
Yeah. How about you?
I'll call it for Brighton.
Brighton.
Just to annoy somebody specifically. But I'll call it for Brighton. I'll call it for Brighton. I think Brighton would win. But that's bad. But definitely we would see goals, right? These are two sides who have players who are. I mean, Mitoma, McAllister.
That's what I'm there for, to watch McAllister.
Right? Okay. Moving on from the Premier League, of course, do not forget. Give us your predictions in the comment sections anywhere that you're watching this. Arsenal versus Brighton, I think that's the biggest one this weekend, besides the Newcastle fixture and the Manchester City fixture. The Manchester City's fixture does have a role to play, considering the fact that they're playing on Sunday and they would have to play on Wednesday again in the Champions League.
I don't hear any excuses, because this is why.
What's that?
I don't hear any excuses, because this is why Pep broke 115 financial regulations to have a squad that's that big. The Champions League match, we didn't see Mahrez, we didn't see Foden, we didn't see Alvarez.
He's not guilty until proven.
No, so I'm trying to say the team, they can't be tired. Your squad is that big and filled with that many work. We didn't see Laporte, we didn't see.
Right.
So yeah, they should be fine. Fresh legs and go again.
Yeah.
I don't hear any complaints.
Okay, moving on from that. Let us know your thoughts, of course, do not forget in the comment sections below. Arsenal versus Brighton. Predict the correct score and you stand a chance to win airtime courtesy of Sangalo. Moving on from that, what's going on in the NBA?
The NBA, there's a lot going on in the NBA. It's the business end of the season in all sports, and sadly, I'm quite disappointed, but last night, one of my favorite superstars bit the dust. The Phoenix Suns are going home.
Have gone home.
They've gone home. They're on their way. Well, not home. They're on their way to Cancun, holiday season. But yeah, Denver Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, two-time MVP, got the job done again. I think it's exciting in the NBA now because three of the teams are doing really well. Three of the teams that did very well in the bubble season, and everybody said, it was just that it was the bubble. It wasn't real basketball, but it looks like it might have been the realest of basketballs. So yeah, yesterday, whilst the Phoenix Suns went home, the Celtics forced a Game 7 against the 76ers. A very big game for them. They were 3-2 down, elimination game, away on the road, and yeah, they got the result. Big performance from Jason Tatum, who dropped 16 points in the fourth quarter after dropping 3 the entire game before to see them through. So yeah, big Harden, Harden, hot and cold, was a cold night for Harden. The MVP had a decent night by his standards, 26 points. But yeah, Game 7, which is what we all want to watch. But coming up, what we have is probably the biggest game in the NBA, the biggest rivalry in the NBA, two of the biggest superstars, maybe the best players of the era. Lakers versus Golden State Warriors. Tonight, Game 6, big game.
Who are you calling for?
I'm going to have to go. My heart wants the Warriors to win, but my head's going to have to say it's the Lakers. The Lakers are playing at home. They already lost the last game. So they're 3-1 up. Warriors have already won to get it to 3-2, I think. That was to make it as respectful as possible. To win again and then win again, I think they're going to lose tonight.
Yeah, definitely. I think Golden State Warriors are going to lose tonight. Of course, both teams during the season, right? Both teams were pretty much in and around the same spaces. They finished 6th and 7th in the western side of things, and evenly matched sides, but I think LA Lakers have that extra impetus to them. They've had it in these playoffs. I think.
And I guess you can see a lot of that comes from having LeBron James, who just doesn't create. And another thing that really helps the Lakers is the supporting cast. Every night, a random Laker has just gone off. Like,
you
just don't know
D'Angelo,
exactly. Reeves,
Austin Reeves,
there was this brother that I've never seen in my life that came up and dropped 15 points in the fourth quarter in one game. But that's not really the case for the Warriors. And another big deal is that Andrew Wiggins might also have a rib injury, so he might not play, who's very key to their defense. He helps keep an eye on LeBron James. So the odds are really stacked against the Warriors. Barring a Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, combining for 80 points, I think Lakers are going to win.
Yeah, definitely. Let us know your thoughts in the comment sections below. Of course, you can also predict the scores in that one. LA Lakers versus Golden State Warriors. Of course, the Lakers will be playing at home. Of course, to wrap things up very, very quickly, Harry Kane said something on Sky Sports. He said Spurs have achieved a lot in his career despite the fact that they've not won any trophies. How much do you agree with that statement?
I mean, it's a small club mentality. I feel for a period they did achieve something because there was a 3-4 year period where Spurs were a bona fide Champions League club. And I'm sure there will be Spurs fans, older Spurs fans that will say that is a rare accomplishment, playing Champions League semi-final, playing against, I don't know, against these big European sides.
In the finals
itself. Yeah, they got all the way to the Champions League final. But ultimately, I think that's some loser talk, man. As in, I like Harry Kane, but that's some loser talk. Like,
right? Yeah.
And
I feel
he
like
has accomplished a lot in his career, but Tottenham have accomplished nothing. Like, come on.
I feel like that's the bone I have to pick with Harry Kane, right? He does not look like he wants to shoot. Like, he's not shooting for the stars, really.
It's different goals. I guess his own
he's
goal
too comfortable with, like,
I mean, you can say his own North Star is becoming the Premier League's all-time top goal scorer. Maybe that's where he lays his own priorities, and being a legend at Spurs is of some value to him. I wonder why, because he grew up an Arsenal fan, and I don't know what kind of loyalty he has.
What kind of loyalty that is. Of course, do not forget, let us know your thoughts in the comment sections below. Anywhere you're watching this, predict the Arsenal and Brighton game, and also predict the LA Lakers versus Golden State Warriors games. And you predict correctly, and you stand a chance to win airtime. That's where we'll put a pin on it. We'll catch you guys in the next one.
Thanks. Enjoy your weekend.
Peace.